Jnanakosha, Puranas, Introduction.
सर्गश्च प्रतिसर्गश्च वंशो मन्वन्तराणि च वंशानुचरितं चैव पुराणं पञ्चलक्षणम्.
Brahmanada Purana, the sons of Sagara. The sacrificial horse is let loose, Jaimini said. After banishing his son, the virtuous old Lord Sagara transferred his love for him to the child Amshuman, whose conduct was righteous. At the very same time, O king, the kings of Sumati grew up collectively. All of them were amiable, devoted, and faithful to one another. They had adamantine bodies. They were cruel, merciless, and shameless. They were habitually evil in their activities. They had the same nature and characteristics. They cooperated in doing simultaneously the same work. They were deluded in their minds. They were easily irritable. They could not be easily assailed by any living being. They regularly harassed the people. They had no concern for humility, good conduct, or the path of virtue. They harassed the entire world around as they pleased, like Asuras. Attacked and tormented by them, the whole world became distressed and unhappy, in particular with the yajnas and paths of virtue destroyed. The people could not have their regular self-study of the Vedas, nor could they perform holy rites by uttering the Vasantakara mantra. When everything was being completely destroyed by the sons of Sagara, who were haughty on account of the boons they had been granted, the Devas, Asuras, and the great serpents became extremely agitated. The earth, overwhelmed by the ocean, began to quack, though its name is Achala. There was a break and hindrance in the penance and abstract innovation of the ascetics. Deprived of the Havya and Kavya offerings, the Devas and the Pitras became oppressed by great sorrow. They went to the abode of Brahma. After going there, the Devas, with Sharva at their head, duly reported to him the entire activities of the sons of Sagara. On hearing their words, Brahma, the grandfather of the world, became engrossed in thought for a short while. The most excellent one among the Shuras then said, O Devas, listen attentively to my words. Welfare unto you. There is no doubt that the sons of Sagara will be destroyed ever long. Wait for a short time. Everything is being controlled by time. Everything else is but an instrumental. That time alone is the master of all. Hence, O excellent Suras, what I am going to say for your welfare should now be carried out by all of you without any slackness. The holy Lord Kapila, the most excellent among victorious ones, the roost exalted among the leading yogins, is born on the earth with the partial power of Vishnu for the welfare of the universe. He is now sitting, meditating in a lonely place, somewhere in the ocean, the water of which had been sucked up by Agatsya. This meditation has been going on for the last 100 years according to the reckoning of heaven dwellers. At my behest, all of you go to the leading sage Kapila, stand near him in wishing for the conclusion of his meditation. At the close of his abstract meditation, you will bow down to him and tell him your purpose in full. He will do what is conducive to your welfare. O excellent Devas, do something whereby a break in the abstract meditation of the sage can be caused through the sons of Sagara, Jaimini said. On being told thus by him, the Devas bowed down to Brahma and went to Kapila, the most excellent among the Brahmanas. With palms joined in reverence, they spoke to him. The Devas said, Be pleased with us, O excellent sage. We have sought refuge in you. The whole of the universe, harassed by the sons of Sagra, is perishing. It is well known that you are the cause of the sustenance and annihilation of the world. With the partial power of Vishnu, you have incarnated on the earth and you stay here as the leading yogin. A physical body has been voluntarily assumed by you only for the destruction of the great distress of men afflicted by the three types of agony. Indeed, you are the most excellent among those who perform austerity. Undoubtedly, O Brahmana, you are capable at your will to mentally create the entire universe, sustain it and annihilate it. You are our creator and dispenser of our destiny. You are our preceptor. You are our greatest resort. You are our protector. Put an end to our adversity. O leading Brahmana, be the resort and refuge of the leading Brahmanas in particular, who reside in the three worlds and who are being persecuted by the sons of Sagra. Indeed, the activities of people like you will be of sattva nature, hence, O sage of good holy rites, it behooves you to save us and all the world. If not, O holy sage, the entire universe will be destroyed prematurely. Jaimini said, on being told thus by all the devas, Kapila slowly opened his eyes. Glancing at there, he spoke these pleasing words. Utterly burned by their own actions, the sons of Sagra will surely perish when the proper time arrives. Let that time be awaited by you all. For the achievement of your purpose, O excellent Suras, I shall become the cause of destruction of those evil-minded ones. Ere long, the sons of Sagra, whose minds are inclined towards sinful activities and whose intellects have been adversely affected by Kala, will be burned by the fire of my anger. Hence, O Devas, all the world shall be rid of distress. They will have fear from nowhere. Let them be wicked in their actions. They will quickly meet with their annihilation. So be free from fear and go back to your own city. Wait for some time, thereafter you will realize what you desire. On being told thus by Kapila, all those devas, including Indra, became delighted. After bowing down to him, they went towards heaven. In the meantime, King Sagra, the lord of the earth, desired to perform Vajimedha, horse sacrifice, the great yajna. With the permission of Vasistha, he gathered together all the necessary requisites. Accompanied by Aura and other Brahmanas, he duly took the initiation for the performance of sacrifice. For the purpose of letting the horse roam about, the king of great renown called all his sons and commanded them thus, O my sons, make the horse roam about all round the earth. It behoves you to do this immediately and bring it back to me, Jaimini said. At the behest of their father, they took the horse and made it wander over the entire earth. It was only because of the directive of the Vedic injunction that the horse was made to go round the earth and not for the conquest of the quarters, nor for levying taxes and tributes, as the whole of the earth had already been conquered by that king. Kings had already been made prayers of tributes by the king of exalted heroism in the battlefield. Then those princes reached the lower ground surface of the salt ocean, wherein there was no water. With great delight they encircled the horse and entered the interior of the earth. The destruction of the sons of Sagara. Jaimini said, when they reached there, the wind god, who had been directed by Indra, carried away the horse to the nether worlds within a moment. Stealing the horse without being seen by any one of them, O king, the wind god carried it away along with part of the vicinity of the sage Kapila. When the horse disappeared, all those princes became perplexed. Searching for the horse, they went round and round the earth. After searching the entire earth, including the cities, mountains, and forests, they attained great sorrow because they were still unable to see the sacrificial animal. Then they went back to Ayodhya, surrounded by the sages, met their father, bowed down to him, and initiated to him everything. The moment we entered the ocean, after wandering over the whole of earth, the horse was taken away by someone, though it was being vigilantly guarded by us who were on the watch. On being told thus by them, the excellent king became infuriated and told them, "Go away hence, unrighteous ones, never to return again. How was it lost by you? While you were alive, you were indeed evil minded ones. There is no question of your returning without the horses here." Then all of them together set out from that place and said to one another, "Even now the horse is not to be seen. What shall we do?" The whole of the earth was searched by us, including the mountains, forests, and parks. The horse is not seen anywhere, nor its news is heard. Hence, starting with the ocean and extending as far as the netherworld, we shall split the earth and dig it. We shall enter the netherworld and search for the horse. Having decided thus, all those sons of Sagara of cruel resolve dug the earth everywhere, beginning with the seashore. Being dug by them, the earth became greatly excited and cried aloud. On seeing their activity, all living beings cried in distress. After digging the Bharata subcontinent and casting it off on the ground, they united 1,000 yojanas of the earth to the ocean. Digging the earth up to the netherworld, the sons of the king saw the horse grazing in the netherworld. Delighted very much, they gathered together and laughed out of the contentment. Some of them danced with great joy. They saw the noble-souled Kapila of brilliant luster, who was very old, who was seated in the lotus posture with his eyes fixed at the tip of his nose, who had kept the head and neck straight and long, who had kept the chest projecting forward, who was shining with his own splendor, radiating all round and full like a lamp placed in a windless pot, whose body was full of perfect knowledge shining within himself, whose mind was engaged in abstract meditation, who appeared like the motionless ocean, who was duly engaged in the yogic exercise, whose mind was engrossed in what should be meditated upon, who was the most excellent among leading yogins, and who looked like the fire with its clusters of flames extinguished. On seeing him staying there, they consulted one another about him for a short while. For a short while they underwent excessive vegetation, thinking that it was he who stole the horse. The evil-minded sons of Sagara, induced by the god of death, surrounded Kapila, the excellent sage. Encircling him, they said, "This is the thief, there is no doubt about it. This evil-minded robber of the horse deserves to be killed by us." Jaimini said, "All those Sagaras whose intellect had become deluded and whose death was imminent suddenly molested the sage who was sitting like an ordinary person." The sage Kapila, who had never been dejected in mind, was overwhelmed with wrath because he had been upset due to the break in his abstract meditation. He was agitated, assailed by those evil-minded ones. The unassailable sage Kapila became agitated. He assumed a huge size like the fire that increases in size at the end of the kalpa on account of the gusts of wind. The fire of anger arising out of his body, as vast as majestic as the ocean, burst forth like the Rakshana fire issuing from the poison of Shesha out to burn down the netherworld. His anger was further kindled by the recollection of attack. The sage, who had a luster similar to that of a wheel of fire, opened his eyes. Then for a moment, O king, his eyes became extremely red and shone like the sun and the moon simultaneously appearing in the sky at dawn. He looked at the princess and rolling eyes gravely like the god of annihilation at the close of Kalpa period. Sparks and flames of fire suddenly emerged from the eyes of that infuriated sage and spread all around in various directions continuously like the sparks of Kalangni. The sparks of fire of the sage anger pervaded the quarters of ground with columns of smoke projecting forward and emitting floods of sparks frequently. The sparks emanating from his eyes like the poisonous flames with the activity of the belly of a python shone like the flames of the Vadava fire, submarine fire of the violent ocean. The fire of anger, O great king, that pervaded the spaces in the quarters by means of its flames, enveloped the firmament and burned the sons of Sagara. The world became enveloped by the clusters of flames of fire and smoke whirling round and round on account of angry blasts of wind and blew with a loud report. It became filled with the dust of the earth too, that were blown up excessively. Hence the world became too much afflicted. All round the fire appeared to be scraping the firmament by means of its flames, struck by the velocity of wind. It immediately burned down completely the sons of the king, who were the enemies of the Suras. Even as all the worlds were watching, the fire of Kapila's anger reduced the Sagaras to ashes completely, sparing only the horse. Thus the sons of Sagara, of sinful mind, were burned suddenly on account of the fire of anger, like the dry trees that get consumed in the forest conflagration. On seeing the annihilation of those evil-minded Sagaras, the Devas spoke to one another in wonder along with the sages. Oh, the ultimate bad result of those persons who have committed terrible sins have not been delayed. Indeed, in this world, men of wicked souls have to meet with a bad end. These wicked and cruel-minded persons, huge in size like mountains, have suddenly and forcibly perished like dry grass in fire. They had caused anxiety and torture to all living beings. They were extremely censured by good men throughout their lives. Fortunately, they have met with their destruction. Which man can attain happiness in this world after committing an inauspicious action that is censured by the world and that causes harassment to others? These sinners had made all living beings cry aloud. They have now been struck dead by means of Brahmanada. Hence, on account of their own evil actions, they have gone to hell, where they will be spending many, many years. Hence, only good actions should be performed by intelligent persons. The other type of actions ensured by the world should be cast off far away. As long as one is alive, one should strive for the attainment of final beatitude. This should be done by one who knows what is good for him. One should not harm or injure anyone, as life is transitory. This body is non-permanent. Riches are extremely fickle. The entire worldly existence is utterly worthless. How may the learned one believe? Even as the leading Suras and sages were telling one another, thus the sons of Sagara perished after becoming the fuel to the fire of the anger of the sage. The sons of Sagara, whose bodies were burnt down suddenly, paralyzed the earth with their ashes and instantaneously fell into hell due to their sinful deed. After burning those sons of Sagara entirely, the fire arising from his anger was on the point of burning all the world suddenly in a moment. The Devas, who became frightened, gathered together and stood by in the firmament. Being desirous of suppressing the fire of anger, they elucidated the noble souled sage. Trickery of the sacrificial horse. Gemini said, "It behoves you, O leading Brahmana, to restrain immediately this fire of anger. If not, the entire universe is likely to be burned by its untimely. Your greatness has been seen. The whole world, including the mobile and the immobile beings, have been pervaded by this fire of your anger. Forbear, please restrain this anger, O leading Brahmana, obeisance to you." On being realized, thus saintly Kapila immediately controlled the extremely terrible fire of anger. Thereupon the entire universe, including the mobile and the immobile beings, became calm. Devas and the ascetics became free from distress. In the meantime, the saintly Rishi Narada, O king, casually went to Ayodhya from the Devaloka. On seeing that Narada had arrived, Sagara worshipped him perfectly in accordance with the injunctions of the scriptures, with the Argya, Padya and other materials of worship. Accepting that honor and worship, Narada sat on the exalted seat and spoke these words, O king, to Sagara, the tiger among kings. Narada said, your sons who had gone to take horse around the world, O excellent king, have been struck down by the curse of a Brahman. All of them have perished. Your sacrificial horse, O king, that was being guarded by all of them, was taken somewhere in the heaven without being noticed by anyone, as ordained by fate. They began to search for the lost horse all over the earth. For a long time, O king, they did not get any information of its whereabouts. Thereupon they decided to search for the horse underneath the earth. Beginning earnestly, those Sagaras dug up the surface of the earth. While digging the earth, O king, they saw the horse in Patala, and near it they saw the great sage Kapila, the leading yogin. On seeing him, they committed a sinful deed, all of them being urged by Kala, saying, this is the robber of the horse. They made Kapila sufficiently infuriated. Thereupon your sons perished with their bodies as fuel to the fire emanating from his eyes and caused by his anger, the fire that burned the quarters. You need not grieve over them. It does not behave you to grieve over them. O leading king, because they were cruel of sinful conduct and were creating troubles and impediments to all people, retain your courage as your asset.